Hello, beautiful people. I've been talking for a few months about indie games that are either upcoming or have already come out swinging. It's been an amazing year so far, and there are plenty more great titles on the horizon. So I decided to look ahead for the year and highlight some games I'm personally excited for. Let's take a look at some great upcoming games for the year. Take a seat, grab a drink, and start wishlisting. The Transylvania adventure of Simon Quest. I love the Castlevania franchise. Nothing beats the series in terms of retro visuals and amazing soundtracks. Lately, the Curse of the Moon games have come incredibly close, but Simon Quest touches me in my soul. An homage to one of the worst games in the series, most notably talked about by an angry video game nerd, Transylvania Adventure looks like it took all the best parts of the franchise and just meticulously stuck them together. Great controls, fun sub-weapons, wonderful music, and just incredible level design to make this feel less like an homage and more like an unofficial sequel. Progromancer's last game, Prison City, was a great little homage to 90s action platformers, so I have no doubt that they have the stuff needed for a fun time. I'm not always the biggest fan of chasing nostalgia, but I'm looking forward to exploring this world. Every Day We Fight. I've been craving a good turn-based strategy game, and Every Day We Fight is looking to fulfill that itch. I love how the game combines turn-based combat with real-time action. When it's the character's turns in combat, you aim to make sure you hit your targets, which also means the pressure is on me again. Like, I don't have enough already. This reminds me of Valkyria Chronicles, but it's a bit more intricate with how even using Overwatch, your reactions require you to properly aim while enemies try to run into cover. I love this added extra depth, but I do wonder if it won't make battles last too long. Having to take aim every time it's one of your character's turn, and hoping to get that perfect shot, could take a while. Shooting at enemies doesn't just mean they'll sit back and take it. They can react and fire back, or even run away to make sure you don't unload every bullet in them. This does mean that even setting up the perfect coverage for an area can turn out poorly if you miss your shots, and then they're given a chance to reposition in your turn. Lately, turn-based strategy games have foregone the XCOM mission selection and base control, and instead allow you to roam around. Every Day We Fight has you roaming around the city, freeing the people and standing against the alien invaders. But there's a twist. The aliens have stopped time for the entire population, except your team, who are stuck in a time loop. So every death resets the loop, and with that you bring experience and skills along to get even better at defeating the invaders. I really like how this is looking and can't wait to get my hands on it. Never want to refuse a good turn-based tactics game. System Shock 2 Remastered. We already had an impressive remaster earlier this year with Oblivion, but I didn't care much about that, because my eyes are firmly on System Shock 2. One of my favorite games of all time is getting a fresh coat of paint, and I can't wait. Exploring the Von Braun has never looked this good. Pick up a wrench and start awkwardly hitting zombies, or pick up your Psi Orb and start awkwardly shooting at them instead. System Shock 2 has aged, that's understandable, but I hold this game very dear to my heart. And even if this was only a graphical overhaul, I would have still been maniacally excited. But along with some improved visuals, we also get quality of life fixes, improved AI, mod support, and many more. Which I'll most likely complain about because the jank is part of the fun for me. But that doesn't mean a group of younger players can't enjoy the more modern features. I really hope new people get to experience this masterpiece, and finally discover why BioShock and other immersive sims owe so much to it. Mouse. PI for hire. Let's ignore for a second there are currently 100 terrible horror games and films based on public domain IP, and that Mouse PI is releasing in a vacuum. Okay, doesn't this game look amazing? Seeming to be a great mixture of Ratchet & Clank, Duke Nukem 3D, and Cuphead with an ode to much older 1930s animation. I have high hopes for Mouse PI. Combat looks fun, there's a good variety of enemies, there are plenty of weapons to play around with, from a freeze gun similar to Duke 3D, a machine gun to mow them down, and the Mind D self-aware attitude changer, a gun that makes enemies' heads explode. Much like my content. This game isn't just about weapons, there are also powerfully potent power-ups, like coffee to blast your enemies away, I usually do that before having my coffee, spinach to punch them into the stratosphere, and aerial traversal with your helicopter. All of these items just remind me of Duke Nukem 3D, and it just makes me more excited. Mouse PI isn't just for fans of boomer shooters. It takes all the best elements of previous titles and brings them together for a new audience to try and have fun. So please, check out Mouse Nukem 3D. Withering Realms. Withering Realms is a sequel to one of my favorite games of 2024. Before talking about Realms, let me just give a little background on Withering Realms. A roguelite horror RPG Souls-like that combines a lot of genres and elements together and somehow makes it work. Explore Moston House, finding tons of weapons and spells in order to survive the night. Time is looping and every death means restarting the night, but there are ways to keep progress. I really recommend you go and play this gem. Combat might be slow and repetitive, but few games can match this game's incredible imagination, atmosphere, wonderful music, and a setting that, while familiar, delves into some very unique ideas. One day I'll make a video on it, but for now, just check it out on Steam. On to the sequel. Withering Realms takes place after one of the multiple endings of Room. You play Clover, a ghost girl who is controlling her doll as they explored the town of Penwell. Realms moved away from 2D, instead letting you explore the full third dimension. Combat also seems improved and less stiff from Rooms, which is an upgrade because in the previous game, it could be a bit rough to get started. I really loved the first game, so getting my hands on this is a must. I hope Moonless Formless maintains the atmosphere, while also exploring some more creative storytelling that made the first game so memorable. I can't wait to play this. Out of all of the games listed, this is my #1 most anticipated. Agent 64, Spies Never Die. I never played a lot of GoldenEye back in the day. I once emulated it years ago, but found playing it on PC to be a bit burdensome. I did love Agent Under Fire on the PS2 though. Spending hours playing that multiplayer against friends, the grappling hook and rocket launcher combo were unbeatable when used against me. So I lacked the nostalgia for the game this is emulating, but I really enjoyed the Agent 64 demo. The controls felt so smooth and gunplay was a lot of fun. Expect fast-paced action as you take part in missions as John Walker, Agent 64. Plant bombs, shoot enemy agents, infiltrate bases, shoot enemy agents, rescue scientists, shoot enemy agents, and then just shoot some more enemy agents. The combat is wonderful, weapons feel impactful, and auto-aim mixed with manual aiming feels less antiquated and more a fun alternative to the standard of FPS games. There is multiplayer as well, but the days of me sitting around a giant TV playing with friends are over, so I'm not too invested in that. But I look forward to having fun with the full release. Orbo's Exodus. A sequel that I just kinda stumbled upon one night, and now I can't wait to play it. I checked out Orbo's Odyssey last year and it was one of the most vibrant and fun platformers I'd played in years. The only negative was the short length, so hearing that there's more coming gets me excited. I just love this little guy and his eternal smirk. I just want to plant a little kiss on his bald head and tell him he's been a good boy. Orbo is all about the movement. Run, jump, slide, and roll around the levels. You have to learn how to master the moveset if you want to complete challenges and find the items necessary to progress. There are also hats you can put on to give you new abilities, like a propeller to fly and stay longer in the air, a drill top to help unscrew bolts, dig through the ground, and many more. Orbo is one of those, once you start, you can't stop games. The moment you start feeling comfortable with the moves, it becomes very addictive to just explore and find all the items scattered around. All while listening to an amazing drum and bass soundtrack that will grab and pull you back to the wonder days of the PS1. It's an experience. I love the first game and have zero doubts this one will be amazing as well. Demonschool. For this game, I need to give a shout out to the YouTube channel Cannot Be Tamed. Saw her talk about it and had to see it for myself. Demonschool takes all the best narrative elements and style of the Persona series, but replaces that combat with something that's a bit more strategy heavy. It's a combat system that requires a strong understanding of the mechanics and planning ahead. On the surface it might seem very simplified, but that doesn't mean it lacks complexity. It's more Into the Breach than Final Fantasy Tactics. This does mean combat can be seen as solving a puzzle instead of having to grind in order to just do more damage. Every character takes from the same pool of action points, so planning out your moves to best utilize every character is essential, especially since every one of them has their own move abilities, and some don't do damage, instead disorientate or heal. The inclusion of a battle reset option means you can keep replaying the battle if things go south, and maybe you want to try a different strategy. I'm really looking forward to more intense combat encounters. Whether the story grabs me is another story. I mean tale. Yeah, that sounds better. Looking forward to this one. Alabaster Dawn. I haven't played a good top-down adventure game in years, and Alabaster Dawn is looking fantastic. I have a certain fondness for games that have a very PS1 mix of 3D and pixel style. It reminds me of Strider 2. From Radical Fish Games, the creators of Crosscode, a wonderful little game with a similar design. You play Juno, a girl who awakens in a deserted and ruined world with one task: awakening humanity once again. Expect fast-paced combat with 8 unique weapons and 4 elements to play around with. There's an intricate skill tree and you can equip gems onto your weapons to create the perfect build for maximum damage. The game is expected to be huge, with a 30 to 60 hour playtime as you explore the world of Terran Soul. Find items and secret ingredients to craft better gems for your weapons, or recipes to cook for stat boosts. The world is yours to explore and you unlock new traversal abilities to reach new areas. None of these elements are particularly new or innovative, but Alabaster Dawn is a checkmark of things I've just been looking to dive back into, and I can't wait to give it a go. Styx, Blades of Greed. This one's a treat. I never imagined we would get another entry in the saga of Styx, everyone's favorite goblin. This is the 4th game in that franchise, following my favorite acerbic asshole goblin Styx, voiced to perfection by Sol Jeffcott. Expect to sneak, steal, and murder people in classic rogue style. Stick to the shadows, create clones of yourself to solve puzzles, become invisible, and poison food with your spit. That last part isn't a joke. Expect new powers thanks to the quartz that will help you out in the long run. But we haven't gotten any look at the gameplay yet. The previous games were fantastic and make me excited for another entry. I really recommend playing them. The stealth is tight and there's a great sense of verticality in the levels. As a goblin, you can effortlessly move across rafters, jump up walls, and skulk through sewer entrances. Few games can compare to this level of freedom, which makes it so you never feel stuck in a level, which is something every good stealth game needs to do well, otherwise, it just becomes frustrating. I can't wait to get my paws on this lovely little game. 10 great games I cannot wait to try out, and also some games for you all to give a look at. I genuinely hope a few of you go play Withering Realms. It's so good. Let me know about any games you personally are looking forward to for the rest of the year, indie or not, and I hope you enjoyed the video, but thank you for watching. I hope to see you all next time. Goodbye.